The Sephora sale is upon us, and I asked you guys what kind of Sephora sale video you guys want to see. And I did a little poll here on YouTube, and the one that got the most votes was a recommendations video. Now, I was kind of shocked that a recommendations video won because, first of all, I don't think I've ever really filmed a like Sephora or even Ulta recommendations video before, because in my brain I'm like, well, isn't that just like a favorites video? Because the products that I would recommend would be the products that I know and love and use all the time that are favorites, right? So I sat for a while on that recommendations video idea, and I was like, this just doesn't really sit right with me just because of how the world is right now. Like, inflation is so high, the cost of living is so high. It's just like, it is hard to live right now, and I know that so many people are struggling. And me making like a 20-minute long video of all these products I think you should buy from Sephora that's gonna be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, it just doesn't feel right, and I don't really want to do that. So instead of giving you a full Sephora recommendations video and all these products I think you should buy, I wanted to go through my Sephora loves list and kind of tell you how I have talked myself out of buying some of these super viral products or just things I've had my eye on for a while. In past years when the Sephora sale comes around, I've been that kind of person that's like, ooh, I'm gonna buy everything that's been in my basket for the past couple months, and I end up buying like 10 items, and then I don't even really like half the items later on. So I really try harder now to really think about my purchases and think, is this going to add value to my makeup collection? Is it something that I really do want? But don't get me wrong, I probably will still buy some things during the Sephora sale. There's just a couple things that I've really been wanting to try, but it's definitely going to be a lot less than I would have bought in like previous years. But one more point I wanted to make that I saw in Jen Phelps' video that she posted last year before the Sephora sale is that Black Friday right now is like 4 to 5 weeks away, and during Black Friday, most brands will do even a better deal than you can get at Sephora right now, especially if you're just a VIB. You're only gonna get 10% off. You're a Rouge, you're gonna get 20, but most brands will do like 25+% during Black Friday. So maybe there's an item you've really been wanting to try. Like, if you could just hold out a little bit longer, wait till Black Friday, you'll save even more money. So I'm gonna scoot over here. We're gonna go through over my loves list, and I'm gonna kind of tell you how I talked myself out of these products. I'm gonna pop up pictures right here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna start with the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette. So this palette actually came out last year and it was super hyped about, but I didn't buy it last year because I used to have his Master Mattes palette and I really didn't like the formula in that, so I actually ended up giving that palette away. And so when this Makeup by Mario one came out, I was like, I don't really think I want to try it because I didn't like the formula in the Master Mattes. So even though I didn't buy it, I did still kind of feel that little bit of FOMO, and just about a month ago he announced that this palette is back because it was limited edition. And when I first saw the announcement that it was back, like, I really wanted to buy it because I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's back, it's a sign. But I ended up talking myself out of it because I have the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette, which is a very, very similar color story to the Ethereal Eyes palette. Now, I don't necessarily think they're exact dupes for each other. I think I've seen a few videos of people comparing them and they look pretty close, and I was like, you know, if I like the vibes of that, I can totally get that with this palette that I already have. The Patrick Ta Major Holiday Face palette. Ooh, when I first saw this on Trendmood, I was like, I'm going to buy that. And I wanted to buy it because I finally tried his blush formula. I believe it was this year for the first time, and I've been loving this one so much. I have the shade She's Blushing. So in this palette, you're getting those kind of bright, cool tone pink blushes that were super trendy this year. You're getting 2 creams, 2 powders, and then you're getting these 4 gorgeous, like, shimmery eye toppers. And I was like, oh, I can totally see myself using this palette. I like added it to my cart right away. I really thought I was gonna buy it, but then I told myself to sit on it for a little bit. And how I talked myself out of this is that I really don't like this cool toned pink blush trend. I just don't think it works very well for me and my skin tone. While I did really like his formula and I do want to try more shades, this wouldn't be the shades that I would pick to try. But I still really wanted this for those 4 shimmery eyeshadows because I've also never tried Patrick Ta's eyeshadows before, and so I almost bought it just for those shadows. But then I remembered a palette that was coming out very soon and I finally got my hands on it. I did buy this myself. It is this Urban Decay Space Cowboy Moondust palette. And this little palette has 4 of the Urban Decay Moondust shadows, which are like super gorgeous toppery shadows. And these are all shades I can totally see myself wearing. They're very more on the neutral side. So now that I got my hands on this, I was like, I don't need those 4 shadows from Patrick Ta. I literally have this. Probably a very similar thing. Again, they're not going to be like dupes of each other, but it's going to give me that same kind of shimmery eyeshadow that I'm looking for. So that is how I talked myself out of this Patrick Ta palette. LYS is coming out with this little blush trio, and they're all minis, and I really wanted this at first because I haven't tried their cream blush formula before, but I've heard amazing things about it. The only things I think I've tried from them is their mascara and their setting powder, but I've been wanting to try more, and I love that these come in a mini size because I'm so into mini products just because it's so hard for me to even finish a full size. So I added it to my loves list, and then I kept revisiting it, and I was like, I really don't need this. Let me tell you why. First of all, out of those three colors, the only one I would really want is that one in the center, which is a pretty neutral color. The other one looks kind of pinky corally, which is something I don't really want, especially this time of year. Like, I'm not wearing pinky corally blushes. And then that last one looks kind of like a berry color, and again, that's just not a color of blush I wear, so I don't even think I would get that much use out of 2 out of the 3 colors. So then I was like, if there's only one shade I want in that and it looks like a neutral cream blush, I have so many neutral cream blushes. Like, yes, it would be fun to try that formula, but I'd probably get more value out of it if I just bought one shade that I really want, even if it was the full-size version. So I highly recommend, if there's like a little set you're looking at, really ask yourself if you're gonna use every single product in that set, whether it's like a skincare set or a makeup set or something. Ask yourself that, because a lot of the time the answer for me is that I won't use everything from that set. Makeup by Mario came out with this mini Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum Duo. So I really wanted to try this at first because they're mini lip products, and again, I never really go through a full-size lip product, so I was like, sweet, these are minis, and they do have 3 different little sets of this in different colors, and I really wanted the Nude Glow and the Bronze Glow set because it looks super neutral. And this is a formula I've really wanted to try. I think it's Julia Adams who's been talking really highly about these. So I was about to buy this, and then I looked at the reviews, and at this moment it only has 3 reviews, but they're 3 1-star reviews, which is pretty dang bad. People are saying that it's super hard to apply because it is a mini, and I totally get that because I've had a mini Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. Like, those things are tiny and they're really hard to apply because they can like almost break off, and I think that was the issue here. And then someone said the value is just not there for the size of the product you're getting. So that one is still a product I really want to try, so maybe on Black Friday, if he's doing some kind of sale, I'll check it out on his website. I have 2 products from Summer Fridays on my love list, one being the Lip Butter Balm in the shade Vanilla Beige. I have the Summer Fridays balm, and I just have it in the clear one, and I love this lip balm. I'm using it every day, and I still probably have like this much product, so there is still quite a bit left in this, but like me and my brain, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're running so low, you need to get a backup. And I'm like, I still have plenty of product in here. So I think this is another product I'm gonna wait till Black Friday to see if they do an even better sale on their website, and then maybe I'll pick up that shade because I do think it is kind of like a light nudie color, which I love. And then Summer Fridays has this moisturizer that has been on my radar for quite a while. It's been on my loves list for like months now because I keep like, I just really want to try it. It's their Rich Cushion Cream Ultra Plumping Moisturizer. So if you're new here, I love the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. That is my favorite moisturizer ever. I do have more dry skin, and I have just repurchased that one over and over and over for years and years and years, but it's so freaking expensive. So I'm always on the lookout for a new, just like super hydrating, creamy moisturizer, and this Summer Fridays one has pretty good reviews. It has 435 reviews and 4.8 stars. That is really dang good. But how I'm talking myself out of this for the Sephora sale is that I just bought 2 more of my Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream because they were doing a sale on their website. So I think this is another product again that I'll probably wait till Black Friday and maybe get that lip balm and this moisturizer at the same time for an even better discount. There's this new perfume for Kayali that I really have my eyeball on. I have been loving their perfume so much. I just recently bought this small size of the Yum perfume in one of the Velvet Santal wedding perfumes. And I also have one of the Discovery sets that has like 7 or 8 little mini vials. So I have a lot of perfume right now, but they just came out with this, I think it's called Oudgasm Vanilla, and I have just been loving vanilla kind of sweet scents recently. So I think I would really like this, but how I'm talking myself out of it is that I know I need to smell their perfume in person before I go to buy it. I don't live close to a Sephora, so I don't really have the opportunity to go in store and smell it or just, you know, hope that they have it in store. But Kayali does often have little mini vials on their website that you can buy for $4, which I think is a good deal just to try out a fragrance. So I think I'm gonna wait till they offer that on their website, maybe like Black Friday or something, and just kind of remind myself that I need to smell the fragrance first before I spend $30+ on just a mini size, because maybe I hate it. And then I'm stuck with the fragrance, you know? Also on my loves list, I have the new Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch Pressed Powder. It's a brightening and setting powder, and I really wanted to try this at first because I don't think I've tried her original loose powder that everyone raves about. I know that loose version is very heavily scented, and that's why I just haven't bought it yet. I actually do have a mini size of that on my loves list, but I don't need that one either, with my same reason why I'm not buying this pressed version. So the reason I'm not gonna buy this pressed version is because I saw a couple people's reviews on TikTok, and apparently it's a pretty shimmery powder, and I just don't really want a kind of shimmery powder right now because I would like to use this setting powder under my eyes. And if I wanted some kind of shimmery setting powder-esque product, I would use like my Hourglass ambient lighting powders. But how I also talked myself out of the mini of the loose version is that I recently bought the new Lunar Beauty translucent powder, and I cannot stop using this. I am so obsessed with this powder right now. Like, it is probably the most smoothing and blurring powder I have ever used. Again, I bought this myself and I haven't tried much for Lunar Beauty, but I am just kind of sold on this, and I just only want to put this powder on my face. So if I have like a new obsession, I don't need to buy another product in the same exact category. Like, I just don't need to right now, you know? So there are a couple more things on my loves list, but I want to wrap this up with one more product. This is the Fenty Skin Blemish Defeater BHA Spot Targeting Gel. Now this sounds like a product I would really, really love. I struggle with a little bit of acne, but more clogged pores, and something about me, I am a skin picker. So I'm just always picking at my skin. I usually have some kind of bumps on my face. And what I really liked about this product is that this was something you would put on underneath your makeup, and it would kind of form like a little barrier between your skin and the makeup. I think it's kind of like you're putting on one of those little acne patches, but usually you can see makeup on top of that, and this is supposed to be like undetectable under makeup, but still kind of healing that spot underneath it. So this really sounded like a product I would love, but then I took a look at the reviews, and there were so many sponsored reviews on the website, and they were all giving it 5 stars, but at the same time, I was seeing this on TikTok, and so many people were like, nope, you can see it peeling off throughout the day. Like, you can see exactly where I put the little gel. Like, this one just says, sadly peels off with or without makeup. Was really hoping it was a winner. Total fail. I overestimated it. Rather stick to pimple patches. So this is another product where it sounded really good, but I'm going to trust the unsponsored reviews and not try it. So that is how I talked myself out of a lot of items on my Sephora love list that I've been keeping my eye on for a minute. But again, I'm just trying to be a smarter shopper overall and bring a little bit less stuff into my life if I know I don't absolutely need it or want it. That being said, there are a few products that I am gonna buy during the Sephora sale, so if you do want to see a haul, it'll probably be a pretty small haul. Let me know if you guys would want to see that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.